Mr. Jonathan, a lion is about to attack.
Every piece of art has a story. Every artist should be able to visually tell that story without even using your words.
Have you ever created any sculpture that took longer than expected?
There was a fella that I just finished. I worked on it for like 5 years. The materials that I use have their own story. They have their own struggles.
Is it true that you have your piece in at least 4 continents, 10 countries across the globe?
I wasn't thinking I was going to be, that would be everywhere, all over the world to exhibit. No, that wasn't the intention.
Today, I have something very special to share with you all. The journey of a great individual who come from a humble beginning to the world stage by turning waste into wealth. This is the journey of monumental masterpiece maker, the Bishop of the Leaders Cathedral. His name,
Dotun Popoola. My childhood was very, very funny because I destroyed a lot of things at home then.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings.
well, before you even introduce yourself, I want to say a big thank you because it's a lot of sacrifice. You traveled from Ife to Lagos this morning and you just came back. And I told you we've been waiting for you and you still come around. I want to say a very, very big thank you. So, well, for people who don't know you and some other people who want to pretend like they don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, thank you so much for this privilege. My name is Dotun Popoola. Well, I always reintroduce myself as the welder of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I call myself many names. Some people call me mad artist. And that's who I am, Dotun Popoola.
You've been an artist for a while now, and if we look at the journey of most artists transition from one medium to another. So can you tell us your journey into sculpting?
Well, let me briefly say my journey into art generally started as a kid, And at the age of 9, my parents saw that I was very creative and I love to create works of art from anything in the house, from household items, from using toothpaste box to create a car, to using can to create automobiles and different stuffs. So they saw that this guy has creative energy and creative potential, and they decided to support me 100%. I got 100% support. Though my childhood was very, very funny because I destroyed a lot of things at home then. Cutting designs on our leather chairs, cutting motifs on my parents' sofa and drawing on their bends, using sharp blade and sharp knife to create designs on bends. That has put me into several troubles at home. But because my parents were very sensitive, they saw that, okay, there's a need to actually support this guy's career. So they enrolled me into a roadside artist in the Yas Creative Studio in Lagos. And after that, I finished my secondary school in Lagos. Then I got my admission to Auchi Polytechnic, where I learned painting and general art. And after that, I went to the Obafemi Awolowo University to study sculpture in my first degree.
Which means you have both the academic knowledge of art and the practical skill and
everything in totality.
But in all those journeys, what actually sparked your interest into sculpture?
What really sparked my interest in scrap art is a long journey actually, and it's a long story. But I think after I finished my master's degree in painting, I was curious in knowing how to sculpt in metal. And that was what led me to, searching online who could mentor me. And I got a contact of someone in South Dakota. His name is John Lopez, who actually taught me how to sculpt in scrap iron. He taught me how to weld, taught me how to, do MIG welding, TIG welding, plasma cutting, and all sorts. So coming back to Nigeria, I started going to different junkyards. I go to mechanic workshops to pick up scraps. And I started creating sculptures with scraps. But before then, I was just painting, because remember, I had a master's degree in painting. So I was painting on canvas, I was painting on canvas, doing all sort of exhibitions, different exhibitions all over the world. But yet, my passion was into scrap metal sculpture. And immediately I got my first set of works that I did. I will show you the picture of the first set of works that I did in scrap iron. I took it to the market and it ran the market crazy. And that became the beginning of the high demand for my scrap iron sculptures. And at that moment, I just said, yes, this is what I want people to know me for.
I know what you just said now seems very, very interesting. And if a lot of people hear it, they'll be like, wow, let me start something like this. But I think, or let me say, I believe that your kind of journey is not something that is that smooth. So what are some of the challenges that you went through to get to where you are?
So one of the major challenges I had while growing up was the fact that I saw that the art market was saturated. The art market had a lot of professionals who probably would not let you
shine,
come to limelight. But the curious me was like, okay, you need mentorship, that's one. Then you need to go for it. So I met John Lopez online. I didn't know him before.
Wow.
So I sent him a mail and he said, okay, Dotun, you can come to the United States to come and learn. So I had to sell my only car then.
Your only car?
I sold my only car.
What car was that?
I can't even remember the product now. I think it was either Matrix or something. I mean, maybe Toyota. Matrix. I can't remember vividly. So I sold that car and I used to buy a ticket to New York City. Wow. Now, the amount of that car could only afford a ticket to New York and could not take me from New York to South Dakota. So I had to join the Greyhound bus for 3 days,
3 days
and 3 nights. And I was smelling the bus, whenever the bus gets to a bus station, I will quickly come down, take a towel to clean my armpit, clean every part of my body that was stinking and smelling. Then jump into the bus again, we'll continue the journey. America is very big. It's more like crossing a country.
Yes,
and when you enter the Greyhound, you understand that it's technically more like a Marco Polo bus that you will see in Nigeria, and you see all sort of crazy people in the bus and some, different kind of people. But that experience really showed me what resilience is all about. I got to South Dakota and I met John Lopez. We both had a cultural shock because John Lopez is a cowboy. He's a white, American. Some part of his family were Native American, so they probably haven't done.
America.
Yes, they probably haven't done anything with any black. Not to even talk about Nigerian. And Nigerian had a very funny name.
Nigerian ring a bell.
So I got there, it was a cultural shock. I was sleeping in the basement. The cowboy was sleeping in his room with his rifle fully loaded. And, there was really cultural shock. But the next day, we got familiar, we got talking. At the end of it all, I met all his family. His house was in the middle of nowhere on the ranch, where if you make any noise, nobody's going to hear your noise. So he introduced me to his family.
That kind of journey.
Oh yeah, it was the biggest risk. It's the biggest risk journey I've ever made in my entire life. And I'm not sure I want to make such a journey anymore. I mean,
but
sometimes
looking back to what the journey has.
Oh yeah, if you look at what the journey has made, you probably want to say, yeah, you would try it again, but it's too risky.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in a world where there is racial differences. I was just there as a novice. I didn't even know anything about that. The only thing I know was I've watched cowboy movies and here is a cowboy and I'm here. I'm just going as a Nigerian with a pure heart. So the journey was risky, but it was worth it.
Then, when you made the journey, do you believe it's going to be something this, do you think it's going to take you this far? When you are making the journey, then do you think, oh, transitioning into working with scrap, because I think that's part of the intention, like transitioning into working with scrap metal, do you think it's going to be something this big for you as an artist?
For me, I think I never saw today. Then I was just passionate about learning, improving my skills. I wasn't thinking I was going to be
Dotun
an household
Popoola
name that
will-
everybody want to talk to, you know, that will be everywhere, all over the world to exhibit. No, that wasn't the intention. The intention is just to hone my skill, you know, just to be a better person, just to be, you know, sharpen my knowledge about creative work of art. I mean, that was it. So I never thought I would be a legend. I mean, I don't even know what legend sounds like. All I knew is that I want to learn more. And I think till now, I still feel that learning is just part of me because I'm still learning. So what I just saw is that I saw that the demand went up to almost 200% after I did my first solo exhibition, you know, after returning back from the US.
What's the name of the solo exhibition?
So the solo exhibition then was called Irin-Ajo.
Irin-Ajo.
Then
Like
if you
Irin and
Irin-Ajo,
Then, but
and
if you look at it from the Yoruba
Irin-Ajo,
perspective, like journey.
Journey.
Wow.
So it's more like the journey, my journey into welded metal sculpture. So if you put the two together, Irin-Ajo, Irin-Ajo, you know, so I just coined that, and the show was, you know, was the talk of the town. And since then till now, it's been work back to back.